out this YouTube thing.
I actually announced that we were going on in 5 minutes when I knew that it was almost 5.
Yeah.
Can you hear me or can you hear James?
I can hear everything, but I can hear you too.
Okay. I don't know.
Don't you kind of look like Britney Spears? Remember the Britney Spears?
Oh my God, yes.
You remember that? Okay, so you're not that young. I'm just saying, because
This is what I'm saying.
That was like the height of technology at that time. Britney
Okay,
Spears.
yeah.
What was that
Okay, so
performance?
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I remember dial-up.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
Did
do.
you
See,
really?
and that's so offensive. It's so offensive because I did have a childhood where technology wasn't the main focus. Yes, okay, there was a computer lab and that was crazy. And we were all like, oh my God, a computer lab. Like, it was cool.
So wait, you didn't have a computer in your classroom, you had a lab.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
It wasn't until like it took a while for I think teachers to get computers in the classroom. I don't think I had a computer in the classroom until 4th grade. Yeah.
You understand what you just said? 4th grade.
I know. I just had the same argument with James just now about 9/11.
I want to hear about that in a second. But what I'm talking about, so when I was through middle school, we would take typing classes. Okay?
Yeah, very Degrassi of you.
And then even when I graduated, there was still no computer. Like the computers were in the principal's office. You know what I mean? Like that's where they used them. They were not in a classroom. There was no elective. There was no. So for you to say 4th grade, I'm like, yo, that is you don't know dial-up.
I get it. But I also.
So okay, so here's I'll prove the point that you didn't have dial-up. At any point in your childhood, did you have to yell at one of your parents or siblings to hang up the phone because you were on the computer?
Yeah. But
really?
usually it was me having to turn off the computer because my mom was on the phone.
All right, then I'll give it to you. All right, you get that one.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew I had that one. But that's what I mean. Like in the article, it said something about Netflix getting mailed. Like, yeah, obviously I remember that.
You do?
Was in because I was in like middle school when Netflix came out. What am I not gonna remember? Like,
okay, I don't know. You weren't using it though. Like at the time Netflix was mailing stuff, we were on, or I was on a radio show. And this dude would talk about my co-host is still a good friend of mine, would talk about like the movies he had queued up and was waiting for in the mail. You know, like we were full-grown adults excited that Blockbuster had transitioned to like an at-home service. It was like
I feel like
Uber
when I
Eats
was
for
younger, I thought Blockbuster was really cool, and I got sad that I wasn't gonna have that like growing up because like I always thought those movies when the teenagers and stuff went to Blockbuster or hung out at Blockbuster and like I didn't get that experience.
So you already read about it. Oh, we're talking about an article from what was it, Vogue?
I think so.
Hold on, I just want to check in case people. No, Bustle. So bustle.com. 9 reasons older millennials and younger millennials are totally different. In case anybody wants to check it out, and there is, I believe that's Hillary Duff.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire. She referenced it in the article.
Yeah, but
which was one of my grievances.
Why?
Because going from like I understand what she meant by like you guys had Save the Bell and we had Lizzie McGuire.
Save the Bell. We had Saved by the.
What the fucking I like.
You're like you had that Save a Bell show, right? Where they had Nickelodeon. You can't do that on television and slime on your head. That was, you know what, for real for a second, like that was a majority of the TV growing up for us, people getting slimed, which was absurd. And I'm glad that trend is gone, even though you're trying to like bring it back with some retro thing. But it was, I'll never forget, it made my mom.
Why are you glad that it was gone?
So growing up, my mom wouldn't let us have juice boxes because she was way ahead of her time because this was like the late 80s. Um, she would say like it wastes uh materials, like the plastic, the Kool-Aid was in those little silver plastics. So she really hated it. And she hated we didn't have cable. I don't think I had cable until I was in high school. Um, because my mom couldn't stand that these kid shows were making slime or making like the food that you could smush your head into. Because she grew up really, really poor in Brooklyn. She was an
I
orphan,
see. Yeah.
and it and now, I mean, I'm totally like my mom in this way because you cannot throw away food in my house. I don't care, like it goes to me before it goes to the trash. So I'm really neurotic like that. But
Mm.
so I'm glad because when you think about it, it is a lot of waste that goes into. I don't know what they make the slime with, but there's got to be some kind of food ingredients. And I know it's a weird thing to nitpick, but that's how I grew up with my mom being like, "Look at the waste. We'll never pay for cable. We'll never buy juice boxes." And so, like, to get a juice box, oh, that was like gold. I can't even tell you. Watching Boku juice box commercials with what was his name, Richard Lewis or something.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that was a mid '90s. It was the juice box targeted at adults. You can find the commercials on YouTube. It's Boku, Boku. Very '90s thing. They targeted regular juice boxes at adults. I still
Yeah.
can't believe that happened. It was
Well, my
short
only
lived.
what I was gonna say was, she said that thing about Lizzie McGuire and Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
I had both. I got to have both. Saved by
How
the
did
Bell
you?
was on for a little while. Like,
Then you had no. You
how?
had the college years,
Oh, maybe.
right?
I don't know. I
Because
don't
do you know the
remember.
cat? I forget if he was Mexican or the Latino cat before Slater with the curly hair. They were like in middle school. Do you remember that dude?
No.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
that's listen. That's old. Saved by the Bell with the blonde teacher. I forget her name. Miss
Yeah.
something.
I mean, I will
But
never deny that there are differences, but I do feel like gaslit a lot of the times by
well, let me
elder
ask you.
millennials.
Did you watch? So two of the biggest shows I remember coming out when I was younger were like My So-Called Life, because I think that's where not Jordan Catalano. That's his name in the thing. Who's the guy with the cult? 30 Seconds to Mars. Jared Leto.
Oh, Jared Leto, yeah.
That was his big debut. So did you have that show? I know that was like a cable and MTV thing.
No.
Yeah.
No, but
So
I was also really sheltered. Like, I was not allowed to watch MTV until I was like in high school.
yeah. No, I
But
can
like,
relate
I
to that.
would in middle school, like, I'd sneak it at other people's houses.
That's what I did. I would go to my cousins in New Jersey, and we would stay up so late watching Beavis and Butthead, and that
Yep.
was like that was wild.
I
That's
specifically would go to my cousin's house and watch R-rated movies because I knew she wouldn't censor me. She
yo,
like didn't believe in censorship, so she was just like, "Yeah, go for it." And it was always the scary movies too because I liked scary movies, and my mom wouldn't let me watch them.
so did you grow up with the? I almost said Five Nights at Freddy's. The Freddy's Nightmare. No, no, no. Oh my God, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
then
watched.
Jason.
Yep, yep. Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, well, because when
Chainsaw
I was growing
Massacre.
up, the big movie, like if a new Nightmare on Elm Street came out, that was going to be sold out at Blockbuster. Those were like, and they made, I don't know, 20 of them,
Yeah,
and
they
those
made a
were
lot.
horrifying. But if you go back and watch them now, I forget which one was my favorite, the 3 or 4, the one with the waterbed scene. That one was absolutely insane. But
My absolute favorite horror movie was or is Scream.
Scream, Nev
Scream.
Campbell.
Yeah.
She is a millennial actress. I think she
Yeah.
transcends both generations of millennials too. Hey, can I show you something real quick? Look at what I found, what I'm drinking. Have you ever
Ginger
had
beer?
this? Ginger
I don't like ginger beer.
I had never had it in my life, but it said uh, a refreshing zip of ginger, and it's made in Worcester. And I thought, yeah, hold on. It says somewhere made in Worcester. Why can't I find it now? Jesus. Maybe it's on the other one. But I was really proud to buy because I never buy soda, and I was just proud to. Oh yeah. Here we go. Authority of Polar Beverages, Worcester, Mass. Buying local drinks. But look at the color of it. I don't know if you could see. It's not like clear.
It's like brown.
Yeah. It looks like when I used to go to my grandma's in Staten Island, I would drink the tap water because I would love to get a glass, and you would do the tap water, and you'd watch the sediment settle. You could see all the white sediment settle. That was like one of my favorite things to do, to watch the sediment settle.
Oh my God, no.
So listen, if we got, I don't know how many people you go, oh my God, no. I don't know how to see the comments on this, but I know yesterday I promised we'd talk about some astrology, and I'm very fascinated in it, even though some of it to me, it's really hard for me to believe. Do you know what it's based off of outside of like how do they come with, and this is the odd thing to me. How do you look at the stars? I understand how you can navigate, right? Because you're moving in a direction. It's very it's science, man. It's mathematics. But how do you take a full moon and extract that there's going to be good luck, or you need to shed an old boyfriend, or um whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever else comes with that. Do you know
Well,
how people are extracting that kind of psychology and philosophy
so
of the orbits?
I mean, there are sister signs. Well, okay. Where
That
did
sounds
you
like a 90s
like?
show. Sister signs.
Oh my God, I love that show.
Did you ever watch Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
No.
Yeah, see, that's you're young, you're a baby. That was a
Okay,
good
but
one,
I
though.
know what a hacky sack is.
Oh, let's talk about that real quick, because our girl Christina, did you show her that picture?
I
And
did, yeah.
so just so everybody's aware, I was asking Amberly yesterday, or AB yesterday, if she knew what this was. Because for me, so social media for us older millennials was either you got out of school and you hacky sacked with a bunch of people, and a hacky sack would transcend any kind of clique. So there would be jocks that would come over and hacky sack. There would be the stoners in my group. Um, there would be just anyone. You know, anyone could get into a hack circle as long as you could put it up. And that's where you get the hot goss, or whatever they call spill the tea, and everybody would kind of coalesce around the hacky sack, and you'd learn the news. And on a bigger level, it was like Jerry Springer was like the viral.
I caught that vibe from the hacky sack, and I used to. Did you ever do hacky sack?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Of course he did. Ask him.
So
He can
this
tell
is
you.
James.
He can tell you.
Whoops, I immediately blocked.
You know what this is.
Yeah, he knows what that is.
I know what that is.
Yeah, tell him that this was the original social media, right? Because anybody would get in a circle, anybody would hack it up, and you would just shoot the shit and find out who was doing what and what was going on.
Yeah, and that there was probably, there's probably drugs if you have a hacky sack.
I just
100%. Listen, hold on. Let me. I'll show you an original. Do you remember Jerome Baker, bong maker?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
I know Jerome Baker.
So this is from probably 1998. Still in mint condition, Jerome Baker. And when I would fly, this was, folks, before 9/11, they didn't pat you down. They didn't do nothing. You could go right to the terminal. And inside, if you could see, this is the inside of the hat. You can fit whatever you want all around the inside. That's a little stash pocket.
oh my God.
Isn't that awesome?
That is great. Classic.
So you could load this hat up with whatever it be. It don't fit me with 3 hats on, and wear that, and you were good. As long as you didn't see any dogs, you were all set. I mean, the time we did see dogs, it was terrifying, because you didn't want to throw that hat away, and you couldn't get to it to eat stuff. But oh, awesome! My buddy on the radio, I think, just shared the live link, so hopefully we'll get some more people. And listen, before we continue on, make sure you subscribe to Tejacat, TEJACAT. Subscribe to my channel. Does he have a YouTube?
No, James.
No, I just have an Instagram.
I'm like,
Oh, what's your Insta?
at Teaming
Teaming with Terps.
Okay, so subscribe to that, and then Amber Lee can answer any and all astrology questions. AB, sorry, I keep calling you by your name.
Sure.
Can answer any and all your astrology questions. So if you have any, hit us up in the comments, and
That.
if we can see them, I feel like there should be a comment thing. Hold on. Oh, I don't want to be touching stuff. I don't want to shut this down. But if you have an astrology question, go ahead, hit us up, because I promised that yesterday, and then we just got into a millennial fight.
Yeah, but we have to realize that my powers of astrology are very loose, and they're, I'm an Aries, so I have that perspective. It
I
looks
just want
like
I just want to say I have a feeling that everybody who does astrology has a very loose interpretation of it. I don't think there's anyone that's very confident and concrete.
I mean, there
And
are astrologers.
I feel like that TikTok is heavy on the astrology.
So when I was doing a little bit of research, I relied heavily on Chani and Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan, the magazine,
Cosmo.
are they on TikTok?
No, I
Well,
looked.
you have magazines still?
No, I was like sifting through, the internet.
Universal. Yeah. Oh, so that's the other thing. We had magazines. I don't know if you had magazines, but
Magazines are still at Barnes and Noble.
that's my point. They used to be everywhere. Everywhere. And now that was like the thing before you got in a plane. Never forget that. Like you would stack up. I would stack up on magazines before I got in a plane, and now you just get Wi-Fi and watch a movie, which is baffling to me. Were you ever on a plane? I talked about this on a different live stream where there were ashtrays.
No.
Ah, you missed out. You missed out, kid. So let's go back to this astrology thing. I just want to plug that everybody please subscribe to Tasia Cat, at Tasia Cat on I think all your social medias, but especially here on YouTube. And go leave her a comment on the one video she has and say, give us some more, and we'll guilt her into providing more content. And she is an artist, so some more of her songs. And then where I understand you get it from Cosmo, but my point is like, who are they getting it from? Where
Well,
does the line begin?
there are witches everywhere, first of all. Like,
Okay.
as we know, the modern witch comes in many forms. And honestly, I believe that all women are magical to an extent, obviously.
Hold on one sec. What? Okay. Okay. Kids are so funny. Okay, sorry. So the modern witch is everywhere. I agree.
Yeah.
But is there a head one? Like in the movie The Craft, you know about that movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They were kind of like a gang. That one mean broad, I forget her name. She ended up being kind of the leader, but there was no one sending them information. So is this just like information you get through osmosis, or
So obviously, like, the constellations have their own interpretations. And
it's like tea leaves?
yeah, different, yeah. But as far as I go, I look at astrology kind of like a trash, keeping up with the Kardashians for a lot of people. And well, you don't keep up with the Kardashians.
But I get it. We used to say keeping up with the Joneses, and then the Kardashians stole that title and branded it and capitalized the hell out of it. But yeah, I get it.
But I feel like astrology. I don't even know where.
So essentially, it's a loose art. I get there's. I'm gonna do some digging into this because I just thought of that when we were gonna talk about it. Because I was like, who's the authority? Who's dishing out this information that we can rely on? And this is
Oh. So like there are the basics, and then like how the Bible, there's so many interpretations of that and whatnot. So like I think you just take astrology for what resonates with you.
okay.
I think it provides good language for things that you might struggle with. Like personally, I do feel like astrology is real. Like I do
Yeah,
think
I
it's
get it. My kids do
and
too.
especially after I was like reading into I read into my stuff, obviously. but I read into yours, and then I was reading about Pluto, not Uranus.
Pluto's the one that made the major shift or whatever,
Yeah,
right? Am I saying
it,
that right?
yeah.
Listen, can I just say, so essentially, to cap off that first question about where astrology comes from, we could say it's like interpretive dance. Everybody's going to watch it and take something away different from it. There's really no hard science to it, but
Well,
it's more about what you're taking, right? It's like what you
but
can get.
you also have different aspects. You have a whole chart, just like you are a whole person. Not one thing. You can't just character.
I didn't know you were going to see that. All right. You know what? I think the internet was glitching. That wasn't, that was,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it was glitching.
Listen,
No. So you're a whole
you don't
person, and
believe
I get it.
in individuality?
No, well, because people, when they want to, like you said, read your chart, they want your time of birth, where you were born. Um, I forget what else. It's basically they want your rap sheet for the stars. Like they want to figure out everything about what your Pluto's doing. They really want to know. It's almost too much personal information. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm like, man, if you were right, like a good, and I'm sure this goes on TikTok, but if you were a good scam artist, you just start an astrology channel on TikTok and ask people like their time of birth, the first street they lived on, what their pet's name, their mother's maiden name, where you were born, like all these questions that seem like, oh, I got to get real personal, and then they could hack into everything. So be careful, folks, because I'm thinking of that and I would never do it, but there's people out there doing it.
I want to find out.
What do you mean? So I could get two guys?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so if there's a guy I really like,
That's why I said you got to wait. Yeah, but you wait till the shop.
there's a music guy.
But no. Listen, wait till the shop changes, okay? Because I already put some money on there for you. Did you already spend it?
No.
Okay.
I
So
just want to tell you, can I get one guy?
Yeah, of course you can. You have money on there.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, there's a music guy that I really like him.
Yeah.
He's really cool looking.
Okay.
No.
Okay, buddy. I made a deal with my son about Fortnite because he's been having a hard time going to school. So, and he's been killing it. I got to say this: he's been getting hundreds on all his spelling tests. So, I don't make much money, but there's due time where he gets a proper reward. So I apologize because it's funny. I will spend most of my day, like wanting to hang out with them or wanting to do something. And then there's only certain times, where I allot an hour or a half. Like if I got to write something, like I used to come out with videos every Friday, and I would spend, 2, 3 days writing a half hour a day, maybe an hour, depending on how long. I know you can't tell because they're not that funny. But as soon as I was like, all right, guys, I'm going into my office to write, they'd be looking down, doing whatever, coloring up with their friends. And as soon as I went into my office, it was like they could smell. It's like bees and wolves can smell fear. Or is it bees and bears? I don't know. And they would just hunt me down to my office. And there would be times where I'd be like, what's going on? They'd be like, I got to think. I miss mom. And I'd be like, really? That's why you're coming in here to talk to me?
Oh.
So I apologize for the distractions. Let's get back into it. Wait, so I don't know if we had mentioned too much about what's happening right now, but last night was the full moon. What signs? I know you looked into Aries and Sagittarius, but what sign is most affected by what's going on with Pluto? And hey, what's up, Luigi from Brazil? Your stream just came up. Oh, awesome. New sub. You're the man. Go sub to Tasia Cat too, please. Luigi, what sign are you? If you believe in this stuff. And if you don't, you know what? Here's how I take it away. If they give you a little bit of advice, if your signs can lead you or give you Scorpio. Oh, that's Ample Thought. That's my boy. All right, we got a Scorpio rubbing up against the greatest sign ever, the Sagittarius. So you got to respect it.
It's funny because I was looking through, the interpretation for this time, and I agree. For you, I agreed, or like felt like you would resonate more with the Scorpio than the Sagittarius, but then I realized that I was in Cosmopolitan or for so I went to a different section of the internet.
What section of the internet did you go to? In
I
case
just
it cut out for anybody.
um,
Wait, is there a reliable source outside of Cosmo that you can go to for this stuff? Like if people are truly looking.
for me, I usually intuitively do
Aquarius, I think you
Aquarium.
meant to say. Aquarius, I think it is.
Honestly, well, so we're in Aquarius season now. So, and Pluto did just enter Aquarius. So
So is
the
that good or bad? Do they need to watch out for their life? Or are they like, should they go get a lottery ticket? You know?
um, I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like Aquarius is like
What are they anyways? The fish?
no.
What is their
Aquarius
sign?
is actually an air sign.
Oh. What is it? The
That's a good question. So basically,
probably like a fish tank or something.
a lot of my closest people are Aquarius, and one of them is very witchy. He describes Aquarius as comfortable when it is in the sun aspect because I don't really know, but usually these people are very weird.
Hold on, you're breaking up. Go back a little bit. You're breaking up. I think if you stand back a little bit, you won't break up. Because I want to hear what you have to say about Aquarius. So, what are usually Aquariuses? Did you say they're weird?
They're like more eccentric, yeah.
Oh, okay. You're gonna be like
And
Aquarius is just one of them weird.
they have like a specific niche, and it can really be anything. Like Aquarius are also very like versatile and kind of want to prove that like they are different, but in a different way.
A lot of uniqueness. Too much. It's unique upon unique.
And so anytime there's a full moon, the full moon is in the sister sign because it's opposite the sun, obviously. Well, not obviously.
Not obvious. I was like, is it? Are we sure?
What? Oh my god, his birthday's in 3 days.
Is that good?
Happy birthday. No?
Oh, no. Yeah, happy birthday. But no, I thought you were excited of something astrological. Because,
Oh.
right, the full moon happened, but then Pluto, I'm trying to keep up with all this stuff. Pluto made a shift out of Uranus
Yeah,
or something.
let's just focus on the full moon now. You're not ready for this shift,
Okay.
clearly.
Well, I always hear girls joke about like Mercury's in retrograde. It's like the new, like, I'm on the rag kind of thing. You know, like Mercury's in retrograde, so everything's, isn't that,
Well, okay. When Mercury entered retrograde was when I totaled my car.
do you think that's why? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
because I parallel park like no one else, and all of the sudden I hit a concrete ball.
Is Mercury in retrograde like a bad thing? What is that? Please explain that to me.
It's just like I don't know. You're kind of more unlucky during that time. I feel like sometimes I thrive more depending on Mercury when Mercury. But no, as for the full moon is in Leo, obviously, and I wrote half of it on a napkin. So
No.
before
I respect the game. Oh, hold on. So Mercury retrograde is an optical illusion, which means it looks as if the planet is moving backwards
you're not
from
looking
our Earth.
at spirituality, that's just the science part of it.
Astrologers believe during this perceived backward motion, technology and communication could get disrupted, putting a damper on anyone's summer mood. What is this from Country Living? Oh, that explains a lot.
He just asked if, so hey, he said 1 year ago he had a Cancer girlfriend. Do you think Aquarius and Cancer could work out? Water signs and air signs can work out for the most part, but Cancer is a little more emotional than an Aquarius. And they just emote differently. Like Aquarius are generally portrayed as robots. I'm on a live stream talking shit.
Is someone getting mad about the Aquarius talk?
Nah, it just sounds like. Well, it's not a bad thing. Like Aquarius, more like they emote uncomfortably, so, or they're too emotional. It's like really, I don't
That
know.
kind of hits home.
You don't emote. I mean, you do. Maybe manically.
Oh, I got you guys some treats.
When Mars.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, treats.
That's what I'm just gonna start doing that. If anything ever happens, if I ever get pulled over, I'm gonna be like, God damn Mercury in retrograde. I wasn't trying to speed. It's just the Mars alignment keeps fucking me up.
You know what?
Yo, can I don't know if I should, if I'm allowed to say this, because I don't want to get in trouble. I might save it. I'm gonna save it because I did something at work the other day, just like secretly having fun on my own. Ask. All right, you know what? I'll fucking say it. I don't care. I can't get in trouble for this. Or maybe I can, but
I'm like the tea.
so this one lady came in, right, and she ordered this. She ordered a caramel macchiato iced, which, if you know anything about that, that's like a drink my brother gets. But it's milk on the bottom, shots, and it has like syrup in it and stuff. And essentially, she ordered it as a latte. So she ordered this drink upside down with no vanilla, um, no caramel drizzle, and whatever else. Like, so she just ordered a latte.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But she made a big deal. She was with her friend. She made a big deal. Like, after she ordered, she walked over to the bar and she was like, "That was upside down, right? You're making sure you're doing it upside down." Like, very like, "Yeah, we got it." Like you wanted a latte.
Yeah.
And so for me, I instinctively am like, "Oh, I think this lady's just trying to be, uh, what's the word? Not precocious, but you know what I mean. Like, she was just trying to like show off in front of her friend." So I was like, pretentious. That's it, not precocious. So I thought it was so funny. I was like, I'm gonna start asking people stuff like if they want their drink upside down, if they want their sandwich upside down, if they'd like whipped cream on that. Um, so the next person, the dude, he's a regular. He always gets the Trenta iced coffee, and he ordered that, and I was like, "You want a whip on that?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Upside down?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "I'm just messing with you." So the next guy orders iced coffee,
I'm
and he
like,
orders it with
is it a Trenta iced coffee with a splash of whole milk, or is it a
no,
Trenta?
no. Just the Trenta. You know who I'm talking about. And then, and then the next dude behind him just got a venti iced coffee, and I was like, "You wanted that upside down?" And people are puzzled when you ask them that, but I was just getting the most joy from these little things, and that's the only way I survive.
It's the small thing.
Sorry, we're both reading.
Oh damn! I mean, this is kind of a trap. So
Really? In Brazil? You'd figure Brazil has the absolute perfect climate.
this is
Uh,
a home.
but man, I
Uh,
would. Oh, we got a friend who just came back from Brazil, right? No. Who didn't someone go to Brazil like a long time ago, a year ago? I
no.
can't remember. Maybe that was just one of my friends. Um, all right, so we talked about what about Scorpio? What do you know about Scorpio?
So whatever full moon, apparently we're supposed to be open for Earth. You're supposed to relinquish so that you're more open to receiving the blessings that you planted back in the new moon.
So
And
how do you do that?
what?
How like you're supposed to what? I
Like
think you cut out.
and release what is
Release
not
what?
that what?
Release what? I don't
So
understand.
that's what you're supposed to do with the full moon, and that is interpreted by the sign that it is in. So because it is in Leo, what you are supposed to release and relinquish are things that dull your shine. because Leo is the star. Leo is the sun. Like they are very bright, very passionate, and very like Jennifer Lopez. You know,
Yeah. But what would, like, give me an example? Like, what would you release and relinquish? Like dark
well, as
clothing or?
Cosmopolitan said, check yourself and question how you may be hiding behind false confidence. You are allowed to be scared. If you need to cuddle up with comfort items and have a good cry, follow the flow of mind. Sorry, I'm very distracted. There's a lot on
That's all right. That's fascinating. I don't know. I
the screen. So
really
for Aries, the way that that would be interpreted is the first thing that it says. Ready?
yeah for
Old
Aries.
habits. If you're resistant to release them, which you know my romantic life,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
old habits die hard. And so when I read that in Cosmo, and then obviously switched to the other site, very both talked about romance and creativity. You might be confronting differences in values or asserting your needs. So
If you're asserting your romantic life. Oh, thanks, Luigi. Catch us
thank
next week. We'll be on next week. Luigi OG. Hey, Luigi, before you go, do you create content on YouTube? Are you a creator, or are you just like you just on here watching stuff? Oh, I don't know if he already left, but I always love to know that because gotta go tell my shine. All
honestly,
right.
Scorpio, it's very Scorpio of you to be such a hater. Very judgmental sign. Actually, it is time to soak up in your spotlight what it says for Scorpios, because I also looked it up for you, Rob.
Yeah. So wait, what, you're supposed to what your spotlight?
You're supposed to soak up your spotlight. So whatever you've been working on is going to see some spike, and it'll keep you going.
Yeah, that's definitely
Um,
true. Hey,
and then
Luigi, I don't know if you heard me. First of all, be safe and have a good night. But do you create here on YouTube? Are you a creator? I'll just go check your channel after if you didn't hear. I love finding smaller creators, and I really have an issue with how YouTube doesn't put any small creators on display. So, for instance, I look up a lot of Tupac stuff because there's that Tupac court case going on. So then I'll get a million people in my feed making Tupac videos, but they all have 80,000, 100,000, a million views. And it's really hard to find smaller channels. And I've said this a lot to a lot of people, and even on this channel. YouTube should create their app like Zillow. You know how when you go on Zillow, you can set the rent price from like 0 to 1,400. You could set it from 500 to 5,000. I think YouTube should set up their app if you want to look at creators that have 0 to 100 people subscribers, a million to 3 million subscribers. So I like to promote everybody go check out Luigi's channel. Maybe he doesn't create. Um when did you get into astrology, or has it just been always a thing in your family? I know it's a weird question, sorry.
you're asking me, you asked me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
Um, I mean, my parents, my dad actually does believe in like brujeria and like witch things.
Uh-huh.
Did believe in his sign, astrological chart. Um, but when I was younger, that was one way we connected. Was because he's a Taurus. And he thought that I was a Taurus for a really long time until I did my actual chart and found out that I'm an Aries actually.
Oh, because you're right on the cusp, right? When you're where your birthday is. Don't give your birthday out, but you're right there. I only know that because your birthday is right near my brother's birthday. So
Yeah. The reason I am Aries is because I was born in the morning.
wow, that's wild. Hey, Luigi, I'm gonna go check out your gaming stuff. If you play Fortnite, you got to let me know, and we'll connect on Fortnite. My new idea. I told Ample thought about this. I don't know if he's still here, and I was gonna try to keep it on the hush until. Appreciate it, man. Much love to Brazil. All right. And come back next week. We'll be doing this a lot more, hopefully. Um, But I really wanted to start a gaming channel where I just talk to all the youths about socialism and unions and how we start the revolution. And I would love to have an educational gaming channel. I just got to figure out how that works because right now I can't stream and game at the same time. But I'm so popular with all my kids' friends when I play Fortnite that I was like, yo, this is a good opportunity to like teach them about the working class and that the war is not horizontal, it is vertical, it's versus the wealthy, and then none of money. Oh, see, man. Oh, that check out Luigi OG sub so he can get some money to start playing Fortnite with me. All right, Luigi, thanks for stopping by the channel, man. I really appreciate that. And please set when you hit subscribe, hit the little bell, get notifications. So when we go live, I go live with a couple different people. You can join up. And oh, that's what we could do. We can have him report in from Brazil. Let us know what's going on down there. We heard the weed is shit, but you know, hopefully that problem gets fixed soon. I can only imagine because listen, when I lived in Hawaii, right, there were people that would guard the jungles with, you know, heavy artillery because the ground was so fertile. You got to remember it's volcano, and that volcano turns to yeah. I know you got to go, man. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm keeping you here. I don't mean I do that to everybody. I'm the opposite of an Irish goodbye. My family's so Irish that it like Mercury retrograded me. So now I like keep people. My wife's always telling me like you got to be quiet. You got to stop. I got one
No,
of those today.
that's like the one part of Irish in me.
What? Thank you, Luigi. Appreciate you, man. And check in from Brazil. That'd be cool to have somebody check in from Brazil. Wouldn't you figure the weed there was amazing?
What?
AB, the weed in Brazil. Wouldn't you assume that it's amazing?
Mm, yeah, probably because it's a warmer climate.
I wonder if it's illegal there still.
Do you think weed would be good in Brazil?
I'm from Brazil.
They said no. It's all
Oh,
fucking.
really?
Those with that whole
Oh,
mentality, you know who to talk to. They're super. My brother and I speak from frequently about this. Super
yo.
intelligent.
So cannabis in Brazil is illegal and criminalized.
Yeah,
But
they said it wasn't that good, and that you have to know who, like, you have to know someone down there.
yeah, that sucks, man. It just needs to be fully legalized everywhere because it's a medicine, it's so obscene that it's just a class war thing.
Like,
That's all it is.
it makes sense. Like, if you're not operating, not everybody cares about their craft when it comes to cannabis.
If it's strictly for profit, then yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah. But
So
even
wait,
like if they don't have a lot of money, it's a trap grow. Like they're not gonna care about they're gonna care about pushing it more than they are like the growing process, which is why you have to know the people down there. I guess
I know
that's
it's
the email I just got. One of the guys over here is from Brazil, and his brother still lives there, and that's what he told me.
oh really? That's such a bummer, man, because you would figure like you could even do it around here. If you just sprinkled some seeds like Johnny Appleseed, that climate and that soil, you wouldn't need to tend to it. So that's why I always figure like, you know, if you just got a rogue seed, you could have a great setup within 6 months. But who knows? Um, that was cool. And we had an Aquarius. He was Aquarius. I don't know much about them, including what their sign is. I think I'd like to say I know most of them. Like I'm a centaur, you're a crab. No, no, no. Aries is the ram. Sorry. You're a ram, right? Aries
Yeah,
is a ram. Yeah.
that was so rude.
I'm so sorry. Cancer is the crab, right? Because my youngest brother, who I haven't talked to in years, is a crab.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm not a Cancer. If there's one thing I am not, it's a water sign.
Wait, so you're a fire sign, right? Yeah,
Yes.
me too. Is Scorpio a fire sign?
No.
What is it?
It's a water sign.
Scorpio is the scorpion? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a water sign, but it's like the fire sign.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm pretty close to Scorpio in like the date wise.
You
But
are.
everybody else.
You have the same birthday as my brother and my
Oh
ex.
yeah.
And to be honest, knowing all three of you, you give more Scorpio.
Me?
All three of you. Like you give
Oh,
the Sag, obviously.
yeah. Well, because I was gonna say, so my son, my niece, uh, my the middle oldest daughter, and I'm trying to think who else. There's a few people that have. Oh, and both my parents. I always forget because they're dead, but they're all later Sagittariuses. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm the earliest in my family, and they are all much much later. Just like a Jim Morrison, he was a much
Yeah.
later
Well,
Sagittarius.
the November Sag are more neurotic than the December.
Is that true? For real?
It feels like it.
Yeah. No, no, no. I would totally believe that. And the
Like,
later Sages are way more fun loving.
yeah, like I have November. Like one of my brothers November and the other one's December, and the December one is a lot more.
That's so funny. Um, all right. Well, if anybody else drops into the comments and wants to know anything and everything about astrology, I got my girl AB here, and she is very talented with all this stuff. I don't really understand it. I think it's hilarious and not in like a disrespectful
Oh,
way. It's just funny how people created this. Like I would have liked to have been there at the moment of conception of uh astrology, you know?
honestly, I feel like that'd be a cool thing to have seen.
Right? Because you figure, who was it? Galileo was one of the dudes that was like, we are not Earth centric, we are sun centric, heliocentric, I think it's called. Um, and he was like, and the church actually confined him to like house arrest because the church at the time was like, everything revolves around the Earth. And
Yeah.
that's just the science. God said so. And he was like, no, 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 I'm pretty sure I've been looking through this thing called the telescope and it doesn't look like that. And they were like, all right, house arrest. And there were some debates. He went to Rome, I believe, a couple times, and this dude was old, so they didn't kill him or they didn't torture him like I think there is some legend to, but they did send him to somewhere else, I think in Italy, and they just put him on house arrest. And they were like, yo, enough of you popping off about this, like we're going around the sun. But I would imagine around that time with Galileo, there were probably some ladies that were like, what's this sun talk? Hitting up Galileo by pigeon, by carrier bird. And they were like, yo, write us a couple notes. Tell us about this sun thing and like, how's that working? And he probably broke them off. And the ladies were like, that bitch down the road, she's really had an attitude. And I'm guessing that sun thing's probably affecting her. And to watch the culmination of astrology come
Well,
to be what it is must have been hilarious.
yeah, I feel like they probably focus more on the moon first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's easier to measure.
Well, and plus there's way more cycles of it, right?
Yeah, and we're like I said, that the moon goes through the astrological signs just like the sun does, but obviously because our cycles and like we're 75% water now. Is that it? 90.
Now? Did you just say now?
I said no? Question mark? Like,
Oh, I thought you were like, and now we're 75% water. We used to be a little more dirt.
well, we were dehydrated.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, aren't we something like 80% water,
Yes,
20%?
makes sense, right?
What is the other 20%? Nitrogen? You always
And
hear the 80.
by the moon, so.
Yeah. But still, to think about people, because they had to like study, you had to take a long time to understand what planets were doing and then correlate that to people who were acting funky, right? Because that's how it had to happen. It
Yeah.
wasn't like these traits, and that's what I was trying to get to the bottom of earlier, like asking you, do you know how some of this stuff started, or like, is there a renowned? Because there's like renowned psychics. Um, if you go on TikTok, my buddy
I
Matt Frazier is really good.
do some more research.
Yeah, I think
Some
that'd be fascinating.
and like go into like college libraries and stuff. I'm on a quest.
Is that a course you could take in college?
I don't know.
I have to look this up because if so, because listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I would say don't take debt out on it. But when I went to school in Hawaii, they had hula dancing as a course that you could major in.
Yeah.
So, astrology college course. If it's only online, there's an astrology college, of course. Um, this sounds like some medieval stuff. Kepler College, formerly Kepler College of Astrological Arts and Sciences, is an online certificate based in Seattle, of course. God bless you, Seattle. Letting kids study the stars and not for science. That is brilliant. What's up, buddy?
Just going on the back.
Okay. I love you. You're such a great kid. He's such a sweetheart. Oh, I love him.
Honestly, it's James's birthday today.
No way, really?
Yeah. He is an Aquarius.
Oh, tell him I said happy birthday. That is so cool. What time is it? I gotta make dinner soon. Can we do this again? Will you come back on?
Yeah.
Do it
Well,
live?
I'll do more research on the
Yeah.
astrology parts of it. And you know what? I've always wanted to be an astrologer.
Really?
I don't know.
I think you should start. I think you could be good, and you start at like TikTok. I always see people on TikTok reading cards, but also giving like astrological stuff. That's why I figured there's got to be a big market on TikTok for this, like quick one hits, one per day, like little. Hey, if you're this.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing I really wanted to get into is some millennial talk because it's so fascinating to me the differences between us. Um, Again, like you are I think the youngest or one of the youngest millennials, right?
So actually, just before we sign off real quick, I was looking at the Pluto stuff. So like I'm millennial, but I feel like I have the privilege of a lot of Gen Z stuff. Obviously, like I don't know, I really, I actually really love Gen Z. I think that they're, you know, something something special. And I looked into it. And so Pluto just went into Aquarius, which is like radical. Starts on a per individual level.
Wait,
So
radical change for everyone across the board, all
yeah.
signs?
So because of Aquarius nature, Aquarius is very like open and free, and so it's like a generational sign. Your Because the generation splits at 95. I'm literally a cusp on all planes. So like I'm a cusp astrologically speaking, when I was born, and even the generational sign of Pluto.
Divine.
Yeah. So you have Scorpio, and a lot of my best friends have Scorpio, but because I was born in like later in the year, I mean, not really. I was born in April, so like it changed over in 95. My Pluto's in Sagittarius.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah. So when your Pluto is in Scorpio, um, you have the ability to expose taboos in order to protect those most vulnerable and to use their emotional radar to identify places of rot in the culture so that it may become fertile ground. That's what Pluto in Scorpio is, which is like millennials kind of spearheading the revolution.
Yes,
And
100%.
I am honored, honestly, to be in the Pluto with Gen Z, which I know sounds crazy. Like Pluto in Sagittarius is the ability to go to the ends of the earth to discover and fight for the meaning power shifts in the world to free themselves and society of confining conventions.
That's cool.
I'm on.
Well, you know what? That's the other thing I want to talk about next time. The obviously there's differences in the millennial, and I was trying to figure this out the other day. Are the Gen Zs kind of taken over as like the bigger voting pool in society right now? Because the boomers got to be really old, right?
I mean, they're my grandparents, so like in
Okay.
their
And then the Gen X. I mean, the Gen X. The Gen X,
those are the that are like
the
unhinged.
biggest. But they're like the biggest group of adults right now, right?
Yeah, Gen Z is just finally entering.
Yeah, and Gen Z is the youngest. But I think it's fascinating of the not only the cultures across, but the perspectives. You know, because Gen X was totally latchkey kids. That kind of transcended into the older millennials. We were kind of latchkey kids where the internet still didn't babysit us, or TVs kind of did, but we weren't tethered to the internet. And now Gen Z is not really tethered to the internet so much as like they have all the access at their fingertips. It still irritates me to this day when my kids will ask me something like that I don't know, but it's easily Googleable. You know,
Yeah,
you can easily look it up and it'll be like, yo, we used to have to get an encyclopedia or know somebody with like really, really smart wisdom.
yeah,
So that's the other thing I wanted to tackle about Gen Z and how they are going to lead the revolution. And maybe you could have some astrological stuff on it, like you just did.
yeah,
All right.
and
So,
I'll be in a less
unless, oh, the other thing. So, next time I got to get you a thing of these if you don't have some.
I do have like multiple.
Awesome.
They're just all in my car.
And so we'll schedule it. I'll post it on here. If you're watching this at a later date, please subscribe to this channel. I see all the ones not subscribed. Please, if you're watching, subscribe, hit the little bell. There's a little thing. It will notify you. So essentially, if we schedule to go live, it will send it out to you before we go live. It will say, hey, they're going to go live. You won't miss it. It would be amazing. And go subscribe to Tasia Cat, Tejacat. I'm bad at spelling, but I think I did that right. Thank you so much, AB. I will, it will at least be within the next week. If
Yeah.
not Thursday, by Friday. So just count on Thursday, Fridays, we'll be live. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace.
Oh.